What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to Let Me Be Frank, a podcast about movies. I'm your host, Frank, and today we are talking The Substance, which sits at a hefty 2 hours and 10 minutes, but I fully believe that this movie is worth the time. But before we get into this film, I want to thank you for being here. Thank you for giving me your time. And while you're here, just drop a quick like, subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss anything I got coming down the pipeline. And with that being said, let's get into this review. So the plot of this movie, I feel like it's very relatable to all of us. The plot simply is a aerobic TV star, kind of like a Richard Simmons type person. For those of you who don't know, Richard Simmons used to do aerobic exercises for people on TV. Her name is Elizabeth Sparkle. She was this young, beautiful woman, but now, according to the network heads, she's aged out because I believe the film said she's around 50. They're looking to replace her with a younger, more prettier version, which I know we all can somewhat uh, feel. Nobody wants to be treated differently as we get older. I'm sure we've heard stories from older people about being pushed out of their jobs when the company feels like they should retire. Nobody wants to be kicked out for something that we all can't help. Everyone, unless you die early, everybody's gonna get older. I've gotten older. As you can see, I got the gray in the beard. I was 17 at a point, not anymore. But Elizabeth Sparkle is being pushed out of her position. It's her show. She's all over it. The show is named after her. She's being pushed out. One day she gets into this horrific car accident. She's not injured, but she encounters someone who believes that she is a good candidate for something that could possibly help her. She is given what is called the substance, which completely changes her life. And I don't really want to give too much away, but this movie goes completely haywire. She's given the substance, and all she has to do is follow certain rules, which obviously there is no movie if she follows the rules. So she doesn't follow the rules, and her life begins to fall apart. This is more of a sci fi horror. If you've seen The Fly, you're used to the body horror that movie brings as far as like transformations and really gross things. But we're going to talk more about everything else in the movie. It's shot, there's a lot of little quick cuts and disorientating cuts because anytime you've been in a stressful situation, things kind of, move 1,000 miles an hour. Sometimes it could be hard to keep track of things. That's why people tend to freeze when there's a horrific, situation going on. And she finds herself constantly switching back and forth between herself and the new, beautiful, younger her that's being treated like an absolute star and being given all these opportunities, while the old her is kind of sitting around literally rotting away. This movie spoke a lot to me about how we treat older people, especially older women. I know us as guys, we go through things like this, but I feel like women feel it a little bit more. There's always a more younger, beautiful replacement. Usually in these situations, the guys are in charge, so they don't get forced out. And when we do, we typically become alcoholics or we find other means of dealing with it. So I recommend that you don't have any children, none, watching this movie, because when I tell you there is a lot of nudity, ladies and gentlemen, there is a lot of nudity in this movie, and it doesn't feel forced. It's actually necessary to really push the narrative of this film. To me, the use of the substance gives me a huge Requiem for a Dream vibe, and I believe that's the best comparison of how I can tell you that this movie is shot. This movie is shot like Requiem for a Dream. For those of you who haven't seen that, my God, do yourself the favor and watch Requiem for a Dream. this movie is shot in a very similar fashion. And like I was saying about some of the body horror stuff, it is gonna get kind of gross. It's gonna be kind of nasty at points, but I believe it's all helping drive the narrative. It has a pretty damn sad ending. This movie, I would rate a comfortable, I would say a comfortable 8 out of 10. The movie, especially towards the end, can get a bit, I don't want to say preachy, but it gets a little weird. It gets very, very weird. I liked it. The acting is phenomenal. The music is all in the right places. The cinematography is great. The settings are very, very nice looking. And like I said, the best movie I can compare this to is Requiem for a Dream. Have you seen The Substance? What do you think about it? Let me know in the comments below, and I'll see y'all next time. Stay up.